So, you know, President Bashir was quoted in April that he was going to use force in Southern Kordofan. You know, we know that you know, this man is pathological. And I say that I met with him and I argued with him for well over an hour, almost 2 hours, about Darfur in the mid-1990s, 2000s, I should say, and was taken by his. He reminded me of Milosevic, who Mr. Wolf and I met with on previous occasions, and other dictators. There's something abysmally wrong psychologically with these individuals, and just because they have the veneer of being in charge of a state, people somehow convey that a legitimacy that is absolutely undeserving. And we know throughout history, dictators have committed huge and horrific atrocities. They're going on right now. This is an emergency hearing. I said it before. We invited the State Department and USAID. We stand ready to reconvene at the drop of a hat. And then Mr. Payne and I will, wherever we are, get back here to hear from our own administration what their plans are to combat this horrific situation. And that said, Mr. Payne.
Thank you. Let me thank you again and Mr. Wolf for his many years of passionate support, and it's good to have a newcomer to bring into the team, Ms. Burkle. I'm pleased to have your interest here. I would just like to think back of some of the persons. Probably the only thing we agreed on between Congressman Tancredo and myself was Sudan, but he went on his first Codell with me to South Sudan, and we stayed in tents and with Samaritan's Purse, and I told him that's what a typical Codell was like, and he didn't know since he was new, but he found out later that Codells are a little bit different than the Payne Codell staying in a tent. But he and Senator Brownback, who was so strongly supported, and Senator Friss, those who have for many years, and we have a new Senator Kuhn now from Delaware who has expressed a very strong interest. So we will continue to push. There is no respect from the government of Khartoum. Even when President Carter was visiting Sudan with Operation Lifeline Sudan, Bashir bombed the area just to let them know that I'm in control. And so we've seen, Dr. Garang did say that Bashir and his government are really too deformed to be reformed, and it was one of his statements, so I couldn't agree more. It was July 30th, 2005 when Dr. Garang's life was taken. He was a very personal friend of mine. I did attend the funeral. He fought for 21 years for independence. 4 million people displaced, 2 million people died. And he was killed 21 days after the signing of the CPA, which I attended when it was signed. And so we have to remember the work that he did. He really wanted a new Sudan. He was really dreaming for a united Sudan, but the Bashir regime were afraid of his power. As a matter of fact, when he went to Khartoum after the CPA was signed, the outpouring of tens of thousands of people from the north, Muslims, people who were Islamic supporters, came out to support him because they looked at him as a liberator, and probably got the Bashir government a little concerned that a Southerner could possibly become the president in a fair election in Sudan. So we have to keep the pressure on. I'd like to certainly commend Congressman Smith, as I mentioned earlier, for keeping this issue before us. We will continue to push for justice. We should have done that no-fly zone, and I agree with you. You take out a few of those, just let them know you come in, keep your pilots out. We don't want to kill anybody. We could have taken all those planes out and finished them. And so now we have a different situation, but I agree with you that we have to keep the pressure on. We have to support President Salva Kiir, who is struggling now to try to move his new nation forward. But I know with people that we have supportive here, we will continue to be the voice for the people of Sudan. Thank you.
Any final comments from our distinguished witnesses? No? I thank you so much, and we will continue this, and appreciate your wisdom, your counsel, and recommendations today. The hearing is adjourned.